So, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar today, which will be on the topic of how to master your interviews with hotel HR managers. So, my name is Alicia, and joining me here today is Jamie from our operations team.
Hello, everyone. This is Jamie. I'm really excited to be here today. I'm the account executive for RMC Asia, and my role is to connect your profiles to different hotels managers and also prepare you for the interviews as well.
All right, thank you, Jamie. I think we already have a question here. Kelsey, I think, are you able to send us a chat?
I don't have a question. I was just saying hi.
Oh, okay. Hi, welcome to the webinar.
Hey, Casey.
All right. So, as you all may know, at RMC Asia, we're committed to help young professionals and students like you to kickstart and build successful careers in the hospitality industry. So that's why today we're covering the subject of how you can express yourself and present yourself properly in interviews with hotel HR managers, because that's one of the key steps to kickstarting your career in hospitality. So we're going to give you some insight into the tools and skills of how you can ace your interviews with hotel HR managers and stand out. And yeah, before we dive in, I think, Jamie, could you please give us a quick overview of RMC Asia and what exactly we do?
Of course. So RMC Asia, we are a cultural exchange provider. We are based in Bangkok, promote educational travel and cultural exchange programs in top tourism destinations across Asia and Middle East countries. We cater exclusively within the hospitality and tourism industry. We provide opportunities for enrolled students, recent graduates, or young professionals who want to attain practical experience and skills at luxury hotels, resorts in destinations such as Thailand, the UAE, Maldives, Vietnam, Hong Kong, Qatar, and so on.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Jamie, for the introduction. So to start with, I think we can kick off things with a pretty big question. What is the best way to prepare for an interview with a hotel HR manager? So Jamie, could you let us know some insight on that?
Sure. Actually, this is a really great question. I think the first step, and probably one of the most important step, is to know yourself. So you can ask yourself these questions before you go in on an interview, such as why do you want to work for the hospitality industry? What qualities make you stand out compared to other candidates? And or how would your colleagues or someone that you used to work with would describe you? So from these questions, you can start listing out your personal qualities, qualifications, maybe your achievements from schools if you never had any experience working before. Or you can simply list out your interests and what that means or what they say about you. The second step is to know the company. So before you go in on an interview, you would already know the basic informations about them, such as, the name, the brand, the location, services. You can find out more about the hotel information on their own website. For me, it's always good to learn about the company's core values, missions, vision. So during this interview, you can mention your knowledge about them and how these findings align with your own values and what you're looking for as well. The third step is to know about the position requirements. So you need to have a basic understanding of what the company requires you to perform on a daily basis if you get the positions and how to succeed in the role. So an internships will give you practical experience and develop really great skills, which will build your confidence, adaptability, and a deeper understanding of the hospitality industry. You can find out the requirements about the positions online, maybe in job descriptions in a similar role, or you can simply ask someone that's working in the similar positions. And the last step is to practice. So no matter how much you try to memorize and study everything, you really need to practice and say it out. So you can practice either with a friend or you can practice by yourself in front of a mirror. What I like to do is to record myself whenever I have a big interview coming up, so that you can re-listen and can really pick out things that you normally wouldn't be able to see. So you can pay attention to how you would answer commonly asked questions, such as tell me about yourself. Why do you want to have an internship with us? What do you know about the hotel, and etc. Pay attention to your speech, your tones. Does it sound natural? Do you keep repeating the same words like or ah? How does your body language look like in the video? So practice makes perfect. So keep doing it until it becomes natural.
All right, thank you so much, Jamie. That's really helpful. I think it's very important to be well prepared and I guess to know what to expect from your interview, because it will help you build the confidence to express yourself well during the interview itself. So, with that in mind, how can candidates ensure that they leave a great impression during their interview and that they highlight their strengths to the best of their ability?
Mm-hmm. Sure. So, of course, present yourself in the interview is very, very important, because at the end of the day, we only have one chance to make a great first impression. So, the first is you will need to arrive to the interview meeting rooms at least 10 minutes earlier. This will give you some time to get used to the platform if you're doing an online interview, so that you can test your camera, your Wi-Fi connections, and the microphone if you can hear yourself well. Arriving to the meeting room a little bit early will also help you feel relaxed and compose yourself before you meet the hotel manager. The second is to dress professionally. So hotel would expect you to dress the same way that you would present yourself in front of any hotel guest. So looking sharp, professional, well-groomed is very important. It will help to make you feel confident, and it also shows that you know how to present yourself well. Um, Next, it's really okay to not know all the answers during the interview. From my experience talking with HR managers in hotels, they know and they understand that if you are going for an internships, it usually means that you don't have the enough experience. So the qualities that they are looking for is really the personalities. If you are smiling, if you look at the camera, if you are focused. So those are the things that we need to remember. And last but not least is to be confident, show the excitement, and be genuinely curious about the hotel and the interviewer. Let the conversations flow between you and the interviewer. And whenever you answer any questions, you should go into a little bit of details, not too long, because it's always good to make the conversations really natural, flowing, and with a little bit of past experience to help you show to the interviewer that you qualify for this position.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for sharing, Jamie. That's some really great points. So, I think other than being prepared in terms of appearance or in terms of how you present yourself, another thing that candidates should really think about is the requirements. So we know that different hospitality roles have different requirements and different expectations. And sometimes, depending on the role, the HR manager might ask very role specific questions or perhaps address the candidate's technical knowledge. So, how do you think the candidate should go about that?
Mhm. So before I get into this, I will briefly explain the common hospitality roles within the operations. So there's like two common groups. We have front of house roles, which means the people within this role would interact with guests on a daily basis, ensure that the guests have a great experience staying at the hotel. So the common expectations for the front of house roles are excellent communication skills, someone who is friendly and approachable. You need to be good at problem solving as well, because from time to time you would have to address and resolve any issues coming from the guests. Of course, looking professionally and having a welcoming attitude is very important because you are representing the hotel to the guests. Some comments, titles within the front of house roles can be front office agent, guest services representative, food and beverage attendants, and so on. And the other groups that we have is the back of house roles. So people in these roles are people behind the scenes work. So this team will help ensure everything runs smoothly and seamlessly. So these jobs usually would require someone who has a keen eye for details, someone who has excellent organization skills and a strong teamwork. Some common positions in the back of house could be housekeeping attendant, it could be chef, or it could be sales and marketing officer. It's always better to also look into technicals or behavioral questions when you prepare for the interviews. In case that you might have an interview also with the head of departments who will might ask you a little bit more in depth about your qualifications for this role besides the commonly asked questions.
All right, that's super useful, Jamie. So I think, yeah, it's definitely very important to also review the requirements that are stated in the job description. So that will help you kind of know what to expect in your interview. And finally, when it comes to the end of the interview, actually, it's time for the candidate to ask the questions. So, what kind of questions would you recommend to ask the HR manager or the interviewer at the end of the interview?
Mhm. So I would say 99% of the times the interview managers would ask you if you have any questions to ask them. At this stage, it's actually very like a smart strategy to prepare a few questions already in hand so that you can ask them when the opportunity comes. So by asking genuine questions, you will also show that you're really interested and you want to learn more about the company and the positions. And depends on who you interview with, you can choose the most suitable questions for this step. But for personally, I like to ask these kind of questions, such as, can you describe the company's cultures, how the team looks like, what are the main day-to-day responsibilities involved in this internship, what is your favorite things about working for this hotel? What qualities and attributes would make a successful intern for these positions? Do you have any additional questions about my background or qualifications. So yes, to conclude, it's very important to have also some questions prepared before you enter to the interview.
Okay, awesome. That's some great advice, Jamie. So I think also asking questions at the end of the interview, it kind of helps you to show off your own communication skills and to show the interviewer that you also know how to ask the right questions and that you're genuinely interested in knowing more about the role and the working environment at the hotel that you're interviewing for. All right, so one final thing that I wanted to talk to you about is what actually does RMC Asia's interview process look like? So could you give us a quick overview of what candidates can expect from our process when they apply through RMC Asia?
Of course. So once you sign up to our cultural exchange programs, we will start to presenting you to different hotels and resorts in the destinations that you prefer, either for an internship or a contractual position. We have a really big network with over 200 hotels, over 6 main destinations in Asia and Middle East, including the UAE, Thailand, Maldives, Hong Kong, Qatar, Vietnam, and Bahrain. So during this process, you might receive multiple interview requests from different hotels and go on interviews with these hotel managers. Before your first interview, we will always try to have a preparation call with you to go through these interview tips and try to help you feel confident and improve your chance of being selected for the position.
All right, that's great, Jamie. Thank you so much for these tips and insights. So we're reaching around the end of our webinar. However, before we wrap up, I wanted to open the floor for some questions. So to everybody who's listening now, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us. If you're wondering anything else about the process or any tips, go ahead. So I'm gonna give like a couple of minutes and let's see if anybody has any questions. All right, Charity, please go ahead.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
My question was, is it guaranteed I'll get a position in a hotel if I've signed up with you guys?
Okay, so hello, Charity. Thank you for your questions. So when whoever that sign up with our programs, we will keep presenting your profiles until you get interviews and until you get selected. So of course, some candidates that sign up with us would get selected within the first few ones. Some might take a little bit longer, but however it is within the process, we will always be there to support you and guide you through. If you have any questions regarding about the interviews, the hotels, we will always be there to support you.
All right, thank you, Jamie. Charity,
Thank you.
that answers your question. Okay, do we have any further questions? If not, then I have a question actually for you, Jamie. So, how long should a candidate expect to wait for an answer after they've completed an interview with one or more HR managers?
So the interview feedback, it really depends on the hotels and their recruitment process. It could take a few days and it could take a little bit longer. However, at RMC, we'll always follow up with the hotel for the feedback for those interviews. But regardless, before a candidate get selected, we will keep presenting their profiles to all the hotels that we network with.
All right, thank you, Jamie. Anybody else have any questions? I think no more. So I'll ask my final question here. Oh, we have a question in the chat. So programmer is asking, can I change my internship after? Do you mean after you've completed an interview with an HR manager? Oh, after arriving at the destination. So the question is, can a candidate change their internship after they've arrived at their destination?
Mhm. Um, so the answer is, of course you can. Usually we will have a call regarding about, if you have any issues during your internship, if you need any assistance and so on. And once you start going on an internship, it means that you will be the direct employee of the hotel. So if you would like to stop the employment, either you or us can help to get back to the HR manager of the hotel to try to resolve, if you have dealing with any issues at that stage. Usually we try to really resolve it, because it does take a long time, for you to get an interview, to go through all these steps, and to go through all the documents, arrive to the hotels. So it really is, we will try to help you and solve these issues. But otherwise, yes, we will be there to support you and go to the next step. I hope that answered the questions.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Charity, you have another follow-up question as well?
I was asking, when is the right time to send my CV so that you can send my profile to the hotels?
Mm-hmm. Actually, any time is a good time. We actually receive CVs all throughout the year, and we have hotel managers looking to hire all throughout the year as well. Of course, there are certain times within the year that would be a little bit more demands, on higher demands, depending on the seasonals. But once you send us the CV, we will start working on it right away and start to present you to the hotels.
Okay, so thank you. And when do I start my internship? Is it after the hotel has accepted me, or what time?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so the times, so once you send us your applications, we will have a call with you to understand your preferences, to understand the positions, the countries you want to go, and also your earliest availabilities. So once we know all these details, we will then present you to the hotels with these informations. Once you have an interview with the hotels, it's really up to you and the hotel to discuss the earliest availability you can join them. And whatever the hotel decides to send an offer is at the end up to you to accept the offer or not.
I think that's about all the time we have for today. I think we can wrap up the webinar now. So thank you again, Jamie, for joining us and for explaining the whole process to us. I think it was very, very helpful. And thank you to everyone for attending. We hope this session helps you feel a bit more confident and well prepared for your interviews with hotel HR managers.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Alicia, for having me here and talk about all these interview tips. I hope that they were helpful for you guys. And yes, if you have any questions at any stage about our program, please feel free to connect with us via email.
All right, we wish everyone the best of luck in your upcoming interviews and future careers. So enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.